late 1980s, Pearson International Airport, Toronto, Canada. The largest airport in the country. Millions of goods arrive every day from around the world. Electronics, computers, cameras, hard drives, clothing, everything you can imagine, flowing through massive cargo warehouses protected by over 100 police officers and security personnel. The facility is enormous, so big that tracking every skid of merchandise is nearly impossible. Things come in, things go out. Sometimes things go missing. A camera here, some computer equipment there. At first, nobody notices, but eventually, the losses add up. $500,000 worth of cargo. Gone. The airport administration realizes they have a problem. A serious problem. Someone is stealing from them. And they have no idea who. Police form a task force. They investigate. They surveil. They interview warehouse workers. But every lead goes nowhere, because the thief is careful, patient, invisible. For over a decade, cargo keeps disappearing. Millions of dollars in merchandise vanishing without a trace. And the man responsible? He's not a mastermind criminal, not a sophisticated hacker, not even a manager with inside access. He's just a truck driver, a Vietnamese immigrant who came to Canada with $50 in his pocket and a dream of becoming rich. His name is Ho Lam Wong, but everyone knows him by a different name, a name that perfectly captures his strategy for getting away with one of the longest-running cargo thefts in Canadian history. They call him Mr. Smiley. By the way, I'm George, and this is Catalyst. I bring you rare and unseen true crime cases with multiple uploads every single week. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, then hit subscribe now to join the Catalyst family, and make sure you have all notifications turned on. Now, on with the video. Ho Lam Wong arrived in Canada in the late 1980s with almost nothing. $50 to his name. No connections, no job, no plan except one, become wealthy, whatever it took. He immediately integrated himself into Toronto's Asian community. And he had a secret weapon, his personality. Ho Lam Wong was charming, always smiling, always kind, always helpful. He treated everyone with respect, made friends easily, left positive impressions wherever he went. That smile became his trademark, his calling card. Eventually, people stopped calling him Ho. They just called him Mr. Smiley. Through his community connections, Mr. Smiley met a woman named Teresa. She was also a Vietnamese immigrant. They connected instantly. Similar backgrounds, similar struggles, similar dreams. They married quickly, and Mr. Smiley moved into Teresa's apartment with her teenage stepson, Benny. Teresa worked for a shipping company, and she had an idea. The company needed truck drivers. Mr. Smiley needed a job. She got him hired. His salary, $1,600 a month. For most people, that would be enough to live on. Build a modest life. Save slowly. But for Mr. Smiley, who dreamed of being rich, $1,600 a month was nothing. His job was simple. Pick up cargo from Pearson Airport. Deliver it to businesses throughout Toronto. Day after day. Box after box. And as he delivered goods, walked into stores, handed merchandise to shop owners, Mr. Smiley noticed something. The prices. These goods he was delivering, extremely valuable. High-end electronics, cameras, computer equipment, things that sold for thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. And Mr. Smiley realized something. If he could steal just a few of these items, he could make more money than his salary in a single day. But there was a problem. He was responsible for delivering the cargo. If anything went missing from his truck, he'd be the first suspect. So stealing from deliveries wasn't an option. But what if he stole from the source? From the massive warehouses at Pearson Airport? The problem was access. Mr. Smiley had a limited security pass. He could only enter a small designated area. Stand there, wait. Workers would bring cargo to him, load his truck. He'd leave. That's it. No wandering around, no exploring, no access to the valuable merchandise stored deeper in the facility. So Mr. Smiley did what he did best. He smiled. He befriended the warehouse workers, invited them to dinners, gave them gifts, built relationships. But he wasn't just being nice. He was profiling them, looking for vulnerabilities. Workers who were struggling financially, who had debts, bills to pay, loans coming due, people who needed money badly enough to take risks. And then one day, Mr. Smiley made his move. He approached one of the workers he'd identified as financially desperate, made him an offer. Simple, direct. Throw an extra skid of merchandise on my truck. Don't tell anyone. I'll give you $2,000 cash. The worker was shocked. $2,000 for a single extra skid? That was more than he made in weeks. And the worker knew something else. The facility was so massive, inventory so chaotic, that a missing skid wouldn't be noticed for days, maybe weeks. By then, tracing it would be impossible. The worker agreed. Mr. Smiley drove home that night with his legitimate cargo and one extra skid. When he opened it, his investment paid off spectacularly. Electronics worth $100,000. He'd paid $2,000 to steal $100,000. 50-to-1 return. And this was just the beginning. Mr. Smiley started making connections with computer store owners, offering goods at prices below market value. The owners didn't ask questions. Cheap merchandise meant bigger profits. Everyone was happy. The next time, Mr. Smiley paid another worker, another extra skid. This time, clothing, less valuable than electronics, but still profitable. He sold it through his network of contacts. Then he did it again and again. His network expanded. More bribed workers, more buyers, more money. But Mr. Smiley had a problem. The stolen cargo was random. Sometimes electronics, sometimes clothing, sometimes something completely different. Each time he stole, he got different products and had to find new buyers. It complicated the operation, made it inefficient. That's when his wife, Teresa, became crucial to the operation. Remember, she worked for the same shipping company, and she had access to something Mr. Smiley didn't. Cargo manifests. Detailed information about every shipment coming into Pearson. What was in each container. Which flight it arrived on. What it was worth. Where it would be stored. With Teresa's inside information, Mr. Smiley could target specific cargo. High-value electronics. Computer equipment. Items with established buyers already waiting. He'd cross-reference Teresa's intel with his list of bribed workers. Plan each theft meticulously. Sometimes the goods were sold before they were even stolen. The operation became frighteningly efficient and enormously profitable. But with success came new problems. Volume. Mr. Smiley was stealing so much cargo that distributing it became difficult. He needed help. Enter Benny, Teresa's teenage son. Mr. Smiley's stepson. Mr. Smiley treated Benny like his own son, and Benny respected his stepfather immensely, so when Mr. Smiley brought him into the operation, Benny jumped at the chance. Benny proved to be a natural, an excellent salesman, better than his stepfather. He created his own network of computer store owners, built relationships, established trust. He even created a fake identity, Joe Yang, and printed business cards and invoices for a shipping company that didn't exist. Store owners thought they were buying from a legitimate wholesaler. No one suspected they were receiving stolen goods. But even with Benny handling distribution, storage became an issue. The Smileys were stealing cargo faster than they could sell it. Goods were accumulating. They needed a secure storage location. Renting commercial space was too risky. Too many questions. Too much paper trail. So Mr. Smiley bought 2 houses next to each other. Lived in one. Used the other as a warehouse. Every day, the Smileys would bring skids of merchandise home. Neighbors saw them constantly loading and unloading cargo. It looked suspicious, strange. But Mr. Smiley's charm saved him again. He was friendly to his neighbors, always smiling, always pleasant, gave them gifts, helped them when they needed assistance. When people asked about all the cargo, he had a simple explanation. He worked in shipping, sometimes used his house as a temporary storage facility. Made perfect sense. And with his reputation as a nice guy, nobody suspected criminal activity. The Smileys' empire kept growing, but they still had a problem. Supply exceeded demand. They were stealing more than they could sell locally. Buyers were saturated. Inventory kept piling up in their house-turned-warehouse. Then salvation arrived in the form of new technology, the Internet. In the late 1990s, websites like eBay emerged, a global marketplace where anyone could buy or sell anything. Anonymous accounts. No identity verification required. No bank account checks. Just buyers, sellers, and products. Mr. Smiley recognized the opportunity immediately. He started listing stolen goods on eBay, offered prices below market value, and sales flooded in. Not just from Canada, from all over the world. The Smileys began packaging and shipping from their house. Their operation went global. By the time the operation ended, they'd made 19,000 sales through eBay alone. 19,000 transactions. Millions of dollars in revenue. And this went on for 13 years. Over a decade of continuous theft. Millions of dollars in stolen cargo. And nobody could stop them. The police investigation was stuck. They knew theft was happening. They went undercover, watched warehouse operations, but they couldn't identify who was responsible. Hundreds of workers, thousands of daily transactions. Too many variables, too much chaos. The Smileys stayed completely under the radar. Mr. Smiley's strategy was brilliant in its simplicity. Keep the workers happy, pay them well, give them gifts, help with their bills, be there when they needed support, ensure loyalty, and in return, those workers protected him, never talked, never slipped. For 13 years, the operation ran smoothly. But every criminal makes a mistake eventually, and Mr. Smiley's mistake came from outside his operation. November 2001, a computer store in Toronto was burglarized. The owner reported the theft. Police searched the store, documented stolen items. Among them, computer hard drives. When police checked serial numbers on the remaining hard drives in the store, they made a discovery. Those serial numbers matched cargo stolen from Pearson Airport. For the first time, police had traced stolen airport cargo to a retail location. They questioned the store owner. "Where did he buy those hard drives?" the owner explained. "From a shipping company representative named Joe. He even had a phone number." Police traced it. The number belonged to Benny, Teresa's son, Mr. Smiley's stepson. Surveillance began immediately. Police watched Benny, followed him, saw him collecting goods from a house. When Benny opened the garage, officers saw walls of merchandise, massive quantities, a warehouse disguised as a home. They checked property records. The house belonged to Ho Lam Wong. Mr. Smiley, police had found their thief. After years of investigation, countless man-hours, they'd finally identified the person responsible for millions in stolen cargo. But they needed more evidence. They needed to understand exactly how the operation worked. So they held off on arrests. A dedicated team watched Mr. Smiley 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Followed him from his house to the shipping company, to the airport. Watched him load his truck. Saw extra skids being added. Followed him through deliveries. watched stolen cargo go to his house, documented everything. Finally, they had enough. December 13th, 2001. Police moved in, raided the house, arrested Mr. Smiley, Teresa, and Benny, and what they found inside was stunning. The house was literally a warehouse. Merchandise everywhere, stacked floor to ceiling, every room, every closet, under beds, on stairs, in corners, and cash. So much cash. Officers found $1.2 million hidden throughout the house, physical evidence of years of profitable theft. Mr. Smiley, Teresa, and Benny were charged with possession of stolen property. But before trial, Mr. Smiley made a deal. He would plead guilty on one condition. Teresa and Benny would be released. He'd take full responsibility, admit everything, cooperate completely, and return over $6 million in cash and property. Police accepted. Mr. Smiley received a reduced sentence, just 2 years, for 13 years of theft. Millions in stolen cargo, 2 years in prison. Teresa and Benny walked free. Think about that for a moment. Mr. Smiley stole an estimated $7 million over 13 years, returned $6 million as part of his plea deal, served only 2 years. Even after prison, after legal fees, after settlements, Mr. Smiley likely came out ahead. Rich just like he'd always wanted. The operation was remarkable in its simplicity. No sophisticated hacking, no elaborate schemes. Just charm, patience, and strategic bribery. Mr. Smiley understood something fundamental about human nature. Everyone has a price. Everyone has vulnerabilities. And if you can identify those vulnerabilities and exploit them with kindness and money, you can get away with almost anything. For 13 years, Mr. Smiley smiled his way through one of the longest-running cargo theft operations in Canadian history. His charm made people trust him. His generosity made workers loyal. His wife's access gave him intelligence. His stepson's sales skills moved merchandise, and the internet gave him a global marketplace. Everything worked perfectly, until one burglarized computer store connected serial numbers to stolen cargo. One traced phone number, one surveillance operation. That's all it took to bring down an empire built over more than a decade. Today, Ho Lam Wong is a free man. He served his 2 years. He returned his $6 million. But nobody knows if that was really all the money. Maybe he had more hidden. Maybe accounts under different names. Maybe property purchased through shell companies. We'll probably never know. What we do know is this. A Vietnamese immigrant with $50 and a smile built a multi-million-dollar criminal enterprise right under the noses of over 100 police officers. He turned Pearson Airport's massive cargo facility into his personal shopping center. He created a global distribution network using eBay before most people even knew what eBay was. And he did it all while being the nicest, friendliest, most helpful guy in the neighborhood. Mr. Smiley proved that sometimes the most effective criminals aren't the ones with guns and masks. They're the ones with smiles and handshakes. The ones who make you feel comfortable, safe, trusting. Because while you're trusting them, they're robbing you blind.